Hello, I'm Gretchen Carey, substituting in today for Phil Gallagher, and I'm joined by BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, reporters Ted Stefanak, Chris Flaherty, and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, and Anthony Matos with sports. All right, let's get started with the news. Chief Thomas Brown and the Burlington Police Department have issued a warning for marijuana laced with fentanyl found in the area. The Connecticut State Lab recently confirmed the presence of fentanyl in a marijuana sample after numerous people who reported using only marijuana overdosed. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid typically used to treat severe pain. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, fentanyl is 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine and has been linked to overdoses and death. Chief Brown said that fentanyl can be disguised with other drugs, and they want to remind residents to stay alert. He said that it is important for residents to be aware of the warning signs of an overdose and to call 911 in the event of one. The signs to be aware of include small, constricted pupils, falling asleep or loss of consciousness, slow, shallow breathing, choking or gurgling sounds, a limp body, pale, blue, or cold skin. If residents notice someone that they believe is experiencing an overdose, they should immediately call 911 and administer Narcan if available. Narcan, otherwise known as naloxone, is an opioid antagonist that can reverse the effects of a potentially fatal overdose by displacing the drug from the receptors in the brain. Narcan is available for purchase without a prescription at most pharmacies, and health insurance can be used to offset the cost. Burlington Public Schools are responding to an incident of racist graffiti at Marshall Simons Middle School reported on Tuesday. A swastika was found painted on a tile in one of the school's bathrooms on Monday, November 15th. School administrators said middle school parents received a letter from Principal Purchase on Tuesday afternoon regarding anti-Semitic vandalism in the ceiling of the boys' bathroom. As stated in Ms. Purchase's letter, they could not find the anti-Semitic vandalism during a search of the building until it was located on the top side of a ceiling tile. In other words, the side that is not visible from the room below. In a letter sent out to parents and the community, administrators said this act goes against the core values of the district. Superintendent Eric Conti, despite the obscure location of the vandalism, said the department is taking the incident seriously. He said through education and conversation, he hopes they can avoid any future incidents. All adults in Massachusetts are now eligible for a COVID-19 booster vaccine if enough time has passed since their initial dose or doses. Governor Charlie Baker announced on Thursday that every resident over the age of 18 can receive a booster if it has been 6 months since they received their second dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines, or 2 months since receiving the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. There are roughly 1,000 locations where residents can go to receive the booster shots. To find one near you and to make an appointment, visit the vaxfinder.mass.gov website or call the COVID-19 Vaccine Resource Line by dialing 211. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, it is okay for individuals to choose which vaccine they receive as a booster and are not limited to sticking with the type they originally received. Governor Baker said anyone with questions about which dose is best for them should consult their health care provider. As for the original vaccinations, Burlington is mostly in line with the county and the state in regards to the percentage of individuals who have received at least a first dose, as can be seen on this graph. In Burlington, 80% of residents have received at least one dose, while in Middlesex County as a whole, 82% of residents have had an initial shot. In Massachusetts as a whole, 80% of residents are at least partially vaccinated. Burlington Public School leaders say they are working to keep as many students in class as possible and are encouraging parents to consider getting their children vaccinated as a way of helping meet that goal. During an update of the Test and Stay program, where students and faculty members who have been identified as close contacts to a positive case of COVID-19, Superintendent Eric Conti told the school committee that the district's participation in the initiative has been steady. Conti added that they are keeping a close eye on every new case, which has averaged about 3 per week. Conti also said that other school districts he's in contact with have been looking at lifting the state mask mandate, currently set to expire no earlier than January 15th, for buildings that have over 80% of all staff and students vaccinated, as allowed by the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. He did not specifically say Burlington was looking at that option, but urged parents to consider having their children vaccinated as a defense against the pandemic. Conti encouraged all parents of students aged 5 to 11 to strongly consider getting them vaccinated and to consult with the family's pediatrician on the best course of action. Finally, he said that the district will continue to provide vaccination clinics that will rotate to the different schools and that parents can sign up their students on the district's website. In what is being held up as an incremental return to normalcy, Burlington Public Schools are back to eating in the cafeteria. On Tuesday, school officials updated the school committee about the reopening of the elementary and middle school cafeterias after more than a year and a half of having them either closed or used for socially distant learning. Director of Operations Bob Kuna said that while it is an adjustment, the students are excited to be eating at the cafeterias as opposed to at their desks in the classroom. The return to the cafeterias is also taking some of the pressure off of staff and is relieving a supply issue the district was facing. As reported on BNEWS, before the cafeterias were reopened, the food services director reported having a difficult time getting the paper goods necessary to deliver lunches to all of the classrooms. They were also spending a lot of time making those deliveries. Superintendent Eric Conti asked Kuna if the change was being welcomed by the cafeteria workers. Here is his response.
I think just the change alone is a benefit to them all. I think also with change, there needs a little bit of time to adjustment, just like was mentioned earlier. You don't forget how to ride a bike. I think they all know how to do their jobs, so they're all doing it well, but it's a learning curve because we haven't done it this way in a while. But I think not delivering foods to the classrooms is very welcome to all the cafeteria members. And I think once we get another week or two behind us, I think a lot of tensions will settle down a little bit and we can get back to semi-normal.
There are COVID precautions in place, such as spacing out the lines and having students wear masks until they are seated. However, Kuna has said that other districts in the area that have already opened up their cafeterias have not seen a rise in cases. In an effort to make the town of Burlington more appealing to prospective industry, residents, and foodies, the town's economic development director has been working with a digital marketing agency to combine data, design, and strategy to make Burlington's Boston's best neighbor with bringmetoburlington.com. BNews reporter Tad Stefanik has this look.
Burlington's Economic Development Director is taking steps to increase awareness on the benefits of living, working, and playing in Burlington.
You know, in terms of economic development, and especially local economic development, there's limits to the interventions that can be done from a local government. And today, Massachusetts Municipal Association has identified different best practices. And, you know, increasing your presence and kind of market awareness is one thing that is considered a best practice. So what we did here in Burlington, you know, working with our Economic Development Liaison Group, we were able to form out a concept idea for Bring Me to Burlington. And we worked with an online marketing firm to help us build out that website.
We really work with a lot of different sorts of businesses, but a lot in travel and tourism and a lot of different, especially Massachusetts towns, to help them with different kind of marketing needs.
Because our town has our traditional Town of Burlington website, and it's great if you're a resident and if you're looking for certain licenses and permits.
What we wanted to do, which was be able to market Burlington as a great business community, right? For all sorts of different businesses, but especially businesses in life sciences and medical device companies and healthcare companies, technology companies and additive manufacturing companies and the restaurants and retail to kind of support them.
That's kind of harder information to find. So that's what we're doing with this website. We're really kind of showcasing the neat kind of industries that we have, the innovation that comes out of it, as well as promoting some of the benefits of living here, as a resident.
There's definitely kind of the lifestyle aspect as part of kind of, I think, attracting businesses, especially larger businesses in Burlington. It creates a lot of opportunity for a lot of smaller businesses as well, the restaurants, the retail, the hotels. There is also a section on the site talking about living in Burlington and what it's like to live in Burlington. Was important to us to be able to communicate, it is a great place to live as well. So if you're going to relocate here, you may want to also think about relocating yourself here, or your employees may want to think about relocating here.
We're just starting, so we're only a few months in. I think I'd love for people to know that we are trying to benchmark it and be kind of critical about it. We're not just putting it up there and just hoping for the best.
We're really at the beginning of the campaign, and we are counting on everyone to help spread the word about what a great community Burlington is. So if you ever have an opportunity in conversation, right, this is a great place to send people to learn more about all that Burlington has to offer, both businesses, residents, or travelers.
We are using Google Analytics. We are going to be tailoring it and adding content over time to make it relevant. We've also been working with businesses to kind of see how we can best share what they have, whether it's space or whether it's the tenants that they have.
So we wanted to make sure that we could go out and let the businesses know Burlington's great business community, and really an alternative to Cambridge or Boston.
So we're spotlighting businesses. We'll be working with the chamber to see if there's maybe more opportunity for partnership and leveraging both the website. So I think it has a lot of potential.
We also have a part of the site that talks about travel, because we're also looking at Burlington as kind of a hub to travel to all sorts of other locations in the area, right? One may want to make a visit to Salem or Boston or Concord or any number of the places that are around Burlington, but may not want to stay in these locations. So Burlington is a great kind of hopping off point that has all the restaurant, all the retail as well, that one can kind of use to visit all of these places.
We've talked to a lot of people, and we think Burlington's Boston's best neighbor. So we really kind of want to share that with people outside of the Boston area. We think Burlington's a great place to be.
From the Burlington Economic Development Office, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak.
Homemade now has a home for the holidays. The group Made in Burlington, which showcases the creations of local crafters, has opened a pop-up location at Wayside Shopping Center, housing over 50 vendors from Burlington and neighboring communities. BNews reporter Chris Flaherty went to the store's opening and has this report.
Last year, we introduced you to the Facebook group Made in Burlington, a showcase for local crafts and creations. Now, Made in Burlington has a home for the holidays at Wayside Shopping Center. The store first opened its doors with a soft opening on November 3rd, followed by the grand opening on November 6th. Lorena Copson-Smith, founder of Made in Burlington, explained how the idea of the store first began after the group's successful pop-up market last summer.
A lot of people came and were so supportive and kept asking when we were going to have another event, what other kind of events we were planning. I tried to look into a fall event or an indoor craft fair, but not knowing how, things were going to be with COVID and everything. I said, okay, well, how else can we bring our items to the community? And I heard about a similar event that took place last year, and I said, all right, well, let's see if we could do that. And it just kind of took off from there. It took a little bit of research and finding some places, and we ended up here at beautiful Wayside Commons. We worked with a team called Popping Up Next, who helps local entrepreneurs like us find places to do pop-ups like this.
Over 50 vendors from Burlington and neighboring communities can be found in the store, which will be operated by vendors and volunteers. The continued support of the community for the Made in Burlington group has helped make this store a reality.
If you had told me a month ago when I announced this that we would have 50 vendors, I would have told you that you were crazy. The outpouring of support from this community from day one with the Made in Burlington page has been amazing. And actually, it was 1 year ago today that I started the Made in Burlington page. And if you had told me that in a year we'd have a shop, I would have told you that you were crazy. And the Made in Burlington page now has 1,400 members. And everybody that has posted on there has just said how excited they are for the shop, and it's just helped us be just as excited as they are.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to affect workers and businesses, the holiday season is the time to support your neighbors and shop local.
It's just been so great to have such a supportive community that everybody here seems to be looking to support local. And this year especially is important because the supply chain issues and just shelves not having shipping issues, now is the time to support local. And there has never been a doubt in my mind that this shop wouldn't be accepted or that people wouldn't support it, because it's supporting your neighbors. You can walk around here. In the back, we have a wall of Meet Your Makers. You can look and see who the people are that are in the shop, who made the things that you're buying and looking at. And it puts a face with the product. And when you can do that, it just makes it more personal. And you might look at the wall and say, oh my gosh, I recognize that person from school drop-offs, or I recognize that person because I see them at Shaw's all the time. It just kind of makes it a little more personal and puts a face with the items.
Made in Burlington is now at Wayside through January. For shop hours and upcoming classes and events, visit the group on Facebook or madeinburlington.com. Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
There is a new store with a unique concept coming to the Burlington Mall. After a vote of 4-1, Common Craft was granted a beer and wine liquor license from the Select Board and will open a location in an indoor-outdoor shopping container store. The new business will feature selections of craft beer and wine from its main location in the Burlington Mall. The shipping container, a permanent location, was chosen to highlight the industrial worker motif, the business look it is attempting to emulate. The container will be an environmentally controlled building that customers can approach to purchase select offerings from crafts distributors' wares and take home for personal consumption. It will not have the full menu of items available to persons in the new restaurant, but will instead serve as an off-site means of purchasing new items. Some members of the Select Board were hesitant about the unique concept, citing past decisions not to grant licenses to locations that were not fully functioning liquor stores. Owner Larry Leibowitz argued that while this may be different than other retailers in town, it fits the market of craft brewers throughout the state and the nation, pointing out that many have point-of-sale offerings at their brewery locations. In the end, the board voted 4-1, with Runyon opposed, to approve the transfer. Photographer Mark Chester has lent photos from his ambitious project titled The Bay State, a multicultural landscape, photographs of new Americans, where he photographed a man and a woman from every country that has naturalized citizens and live in Massachusetts. BNews director Rich Hosford has this report.
There's a new exhibit at the Burlington Public Library featuring photographs of people from around the world. It is the work of photographer Mark Chester, who has collected photos of people from 190 countries who have become naturalized United States citizens and live in Massachusetts. The photos are from his book titled The Bay State, a multicultural landscape, photographs of new Americans. Mark said he was first inspired to start the project after participating in Governor Deval Patrick's Ethnic Roundtable.
It was during this time the 2010 census was taken, and it caught my curiosity about how many nations were represented in the census, population-wise, and there were over 100 countries. And it listed the various ethnicities in the various cities. So I did research on all of this. And I thought this would be great to show people, a person from a country. Well, what do they look like? Was my first question. How does a person differ in looks from various countries? So there was a whole cultural diversity as well as just a curiosity about countries, because I've always traveled. And so I thought, well, I'm going to photograph a man and a woman from every country that is represented here in Massachusetts.
To boost his credentials while approaching strangers, Mark teamed up with the Massachusetts Immigrant and Refugee Advocacy Coalition, or MIRA, a 501c3 charitable organization. He also worked with United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Now he just needed to meet new Americans, and he knew where to look.
I went to ceremonies, naturalization ceremonies. This is where applicants for citizenship are sworn in to become a citizen of the United States. I just started finding out about these immigration naturalization ceremonies, and I would go to them, and generally the presiding judge would call out the countries, and that was one way of my identifying people from the country. And then I would introduce myself and introduce my project to them.
So what does he hope people take away after seeing the project?
Well, I mean, I thought about this too. I mean, what is it? Why am I doing this? You know, and it was really to educate myself. So I'm sharing what I've learned from doing this, and to show people portraits of people who trusted me to take their photograph, to come into their home, to come into a portion of their life. And I just want to share that here's somebody from this country, and maybe it would inspire you to learn more about that country.
Finally, he said the work is for everyone featured in it.
And I mean, this project is really a project of all the people that are participating in it, because without them, without these people, and these are families, these are men and women and families from all over. So it's their project just as much as mine, is how I feel about it.
A copy of the book with all the photographs can be had with a $125 donation to MIRA to support its work. From the Burlington Public Library, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
With Thanksgiving break in their sights, Burlington High School students are taking steps towards their post-high school vocations at BHS Career Day, featuring Red Devil alumni, local professionals, and international guests who spoke from around the world. We have this update from the Burlington High School administration. Let's take a look.
It's good to be back to somewhat normal here and getting back to a lot of our regular activities for students and staff. One of which we just had yesterday is our annual Career Day at Burlington High School. It's part of a bigger program that we had called the BHS Career Exploration Program, which culminates in our student senior internship program here at the high school.
We had about 60 speakers come in. 24 were alumni, probably about 10 different areas professionally. We had alumni internationally present because we allowed virtual speakers this year, which was exciting and a great opportunity for our students.
And the goal is to really get kids thinking about post-secondary plans, making better decisions, if they're joining the workforce or what they're going to be studying.
A positive feedback from our students. We had positive feedback from our staff. We've had a number of students reach out looking for contact information from the professionals that we're in so that they can connect for Job Shadow Day and internships in the spring as well.
Just again, it's great to be getting back to some of our normal activities and looking forward to Thanksgiving break with the new rivalry this year with Bedford. Lexington's going to be playing Concord now, and we're going to be rejoining our Thanksgiving Day game with Bedford, so looking forward to that.
We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown for a look at this week's forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, this is Peter Brown. Look at your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are looking ahead to the Thanksgiving week. I know it's hard to believe that we are into the holiday season now. Temperatures, of course, at this time of the year, as we know, are getting pretty cool. And our average highs when we start on Friday at this time of the year should be in the low 50s. And we're going to be actually a few degrees below that. So pretty chilly out there in the Burlington area. You have to be out there going out to the grocery store and running errands for the big Thanksgiving holiday next week. And as we round out the period getting in towards next Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, our average highs at this time of the year are only in the upper 40s. So yes, a real chill out there, typical of late November. And it looks like we're going to be actually seeing temperatures below that. So we're going to see a real chilly end to our period next week. Looks like you're going to really have to be bundled up if you're out watching any football games on Thanksgiving morning. And of course, the days keep getting shorter and shorter as we head towards winter. So as we go ahead, let's take a look what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us here in the Burlington area in terms of temperatures and precipitation for what is arguably the busiest travel week of the year. And unfortunately, they're looking for us to have temperatures at or slightly below average. That's definitely what I'm seeing right now. But unfortunately, they're looking for us to have above average precipitation. And of course, when you combine that with near or below average temperatures, that can kind of mean maybe we're not going to be seeing just rain. We may be seeing a little bit of light snow action in there, especially as we get towards Thanksgiving. Doesn't look like too much right now, but it's something we are going to have to keep an eye on. It could keep the travel very messy out there as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. I know that's something you don't really want to hear right now, but just something to be prepared for. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up here in the Burlington area. Again, starting out on Friday, we're going to be seeing some light rain showers, maybe a couple of flurries mixed in there. Temperatures very cool, way down into the mid and upper 40s. And of course, if you look at the nighttime lows, we're going to be seeing temperatures well down in the 20s, actually. Many of the nights coming up for the next 7 nights. So definitely you have to bundle up if you're going to be out and about in the Burlington area after sundown. Now, as we get into Saturday, the skies are going to clear up a bit. We're going to see temperatures again pretty chilly down in the mid 40s again, very cold at night. As we get into Sunday, we're going to see some clouds increasing as we get towards the afternoon, as what could be a fairly significant storm system moves into the area. Right now, it looks like we're going to have mostly rain as we head in towards Monday, with temperatures increasing a little bit up into the mid, maybe even upper 50s, so that at least will keep us just wet instead of white. Now, as that storm passes by over us, it's going to kind of slow down, and we may see the development of a new low pressure center right over us. Now, for us here in the Burlington area, that could mean some very chilly showers, maybe some mixed snow flurries in there on Tuesday as you're starting to travel out and about. And as we get into the Wednesday time frame, it looks like we're going to start seeing that chance again. It looks like snow showers again, temperatures very chilly, maybe not even getting out of the upper 30s to low 40s, so very cold feel. And of course, as we head into Thanksgiving, it looks like the conditions are going to clear up a bit. The sun's going to come out, but it is going to stay definitely chilly out there. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, have a great week, and happy Thanksgiving.
Each year, the flu makes millions of people sick. Getting a flu shot is the best way to protect yourself. Within 2 weeks, the shot helps your body produce antibodies that fight flu germs. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Get your flu shot today.
I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your community calendar. On November 27th at 4 p.m., the Made in Burlington store at Wayside Commons is having a holiday wreath workshop and fundraiser. For details, go to madeinburlington.square.site/. Also on November 27th, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department is having a How to Make Boxwood Tree class at 10 a.m. Pre-registration is required, and the event is held at Given Irwin Florist. To register, go to burlingtonrecreation.org. On November 27th through the 28th, Mass Audubon will be having a hike-a-thon event. For more details and to sign up, go to the following website. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your community calendar. The fall sports season is all but over, but we have some action to catch you up on. For all the latest from the Red Devils, we go to BNEWS sports reporter Anthony Matos for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos, and this is your weekly sports report. The fall postseason is winding down, and a few teams are still in the MIA playoffs, so let's get to it. Red Devil football have their final game of the season on November 25th, where they will host the Bedford Buccaneers on Thanksgiving Day. 4 Red Devil athletes headed to the Division II State Swimming and Diving Championship meet at Boston Sports Institute on November 13th in Wellesley. 8th grader Grace Davidson, senior Reese McLean, and juniors Rondia Kalachev and Caroline Skurrata participated in the event. The girls completed the 200-yard freestyle relay, where they finished at 16th place and came in at a time of 1 minute and 54 seconds. In the end, the Red Devils finished 17 out of 18 and received 2 points from the relay. Girls cheerleading headed to Billerica High School for North Regional Championship cheerleading on November 14th. Burlington completed with 9 of the teams from Division III: Drake, Wilmington, Tewksbury, Danvers, North Reading, Shawshene Valley Technical, Gloucester, Pentucket, and Saugus. The Red Devils came in 6th place and finished with a total of 82.4 points. Burlington has advanced to the state finals, which will be held November 21st at Worcester State University. Go to the following link for tickets. The Red Devil boys headed to the Division IIA cross country tournament on November 13th at Gardner Golf Course. 10 Red Devils attended the event. Burlington finished in 1st place, scored a total of 61 points, and are named the MIAA Division IIA champions. Congratulations. Tryouts for the winter sports will start the week of November 29th. Indoor track, hockey, basketball, boys swimming, boys wrestling, and gymnastics. Good luck to those participating in the 2021-22 season. The winter season games will begin on December 10th with boys basketball hosting Colgate Charter School of Lowell at 7 p.m. in the Wooden Gym. You can check the full schedule at the following link at arbiterlive.com and type in Burlington High School. We will not be taping next week due to the Thanksgiving holiday. We will have the football highlights against Bedford the following week. For more Red Devil action, go to the BNEWS Sports section at bktv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for Weekly Sports Report. I'm Anthony Matos. Happy Thanksgiving, and back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo is from a Burlington native who went on a fall adventure. It's from BCAT's own Chris Flaherty and features a shot of Mount Washington Cog Railway as it made its way up the mountain. The Cog is the world's first mountain climbing cog railway, having first opened in 1868, and uses a marsh rack rail system with both steam and biodiesel engines to travel to the summit of Mount Washington. Thanks for the photo, Chris. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your fall activities, a family trip, or just everyday moments. Whatever you think is interesting and want to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Final note, stay tuned after the news for the weekly Burlington Public Schools weekly update for all of the latest education news. This has been BNEWS Weekly. Thank you for watching.